The Pathways program is designed to improve smallholder women farmers' productivity by empowering women to be more fully engaged in equitable agricultural systems. In two districts of Orissa in India, 30 community resource persons, or CRPs, who are the frontline staff, have been tasked by CARE to impart trainings on agricultural best practices to collectives of female smallholder farmers. Likewise, in two districts of Tanzania, 56 paraprofessionals provide the same support in their respective communities. One of the tools that CARE has developed for this program is the Participatory Performance Tracker, or the PPT. The purpose of the PPT is to track the adoption of best farming practices, both at the collective level as well as the individual farmer level. Twice every farming season, CRPs meet with each of their collectives and gather data on the practices adopted by the farmers that season. Since 2013, CARE has worked closely with Dimagi to digitize the PPT. CommCare, Dimagi's mobile case management platform for frontline workforces, has been used to create a tablet-based application for the CRPs in India and a mobile-based application for the paraprofessionals in Tanzania. This application is capable of being used in low-resource settings where data can be collected even in the absence of connectivity. Let us take a closer look at the CommCare application being used by the CRPs in India. What now appears on your screen is the application's main menu, which is visible to the CRPs upon logging in. There are 6 modules dedicated to the PPT workflow. These are all marked with a red icon. As you scroll down, you can view the sections dedicated to activity tracking marked with a green icon. There is also a knowledge base flagged in yellow. The modules for registering farmers and collectives and editing their profiles are included at the bottom. Each CRP's collectives and their associated farmers have been pre-registered on their tablets. These are readily available for viewing in the application. So for instance, what now appears on your screen is a list of collectives registered to this CRP. The CRP also has a provision to register a new collective, add new members to an existing collective, remove members from a collective, and edit key registration information about them. At the start of each farming season, the CRP must open a new PPT record for each farmer. To do so, we navigate to the very first module in the application called New Season Open Farmer Record. Upon opening the module, we see a list of the collectives tracked by the CRP. Let's consider that we are required to currently collect data from the self-help group called Ma Shanti based in the village Dinapur. Once we have identified this group on the list, we can go ahead and select it. What shows next is a list of the farmers belonging to the Ma Shanti collective. For each farmer on this list, we have to complete a short form. Let's start with the first farmer, Bira Singh. In the form, we note the year for which the PPT record is being opened, 2014. If the farmer in question, Bira Singh, grew paddy that year, we will say yes. And finally, if the farmer grew maize that year, we will say no to this question. We can then go ahead and submit the form. The CRP completes this form for all farmers in each of the collectives they are tracking. If the CRP is unsure of the crops grown by specific farmers, he or she must confirm with them before opening their PPT records for that season. Once a PPT record has been opened for each farmer in the Ma Shanti collective, we can proceed with PPT-1. In reality, the CRPs would complete the PPT-1 form when they are attending a meeting with the collective. Let's proceed with the assumption that that is the case here. We select Ma Shanti from the list once again, review key details on it, and proceed to open the PADI PPT-1 form. In the form, we enter the year for which the PPT is being completed, 2014. As the CRP, we are then required to take attendance. Only farmers in the Ma Shanti collective who grew paddy in 2014 would appear on this list. Let's say the first 5 farmers in the list are present at today's meeting. Now, one by one, we are asked which farmers adopted various best practices that are covered in PPT-1. We start with deep plowing. In the real setting, the CRP asks the group the question, and the farmers who adopted the practice are requested to raise their hands. Let's say that Bira Singh and Fatima Azad raised their hands for having practiced deep plowing once this year. All of the other practice-related questions in PPT-1 are structured in the same way. There are also gender-specific questions such as this one. Which farmers report that their spouse or other men in their household support them with household work and childcare? Finally, the CRP has to also track which farmers reported saving that season and which farmers reported taking a loan. For farmers who reported saving or taking a loan that season, the CRP is asked to record the loan and savings amounts in a different form. In this case, we note that Bira Singh saved 3,000 rupees this season. She took a loan of 5,000 rupees, of which 2,000 rupees remained outstanding. For each of the farmers who grew paddy, we are also asked to record the area planted of paddy that season. Let's say for Bira Singh, she planted 2 acres of paddy. PPT-1 for maize follows the exact workflow, and the CRPs complete a maize-specific PPT form for all farmers who cultivated maize that season. In this way, data on the adoption of best practices for both value chains, paddy and maize, are collected separately. The final step in the PPT-1 process is to complete the group assessment form, which is the 6th module in the application. In this exercise, the CRP fosters discussion among the collective's members and asks them to rank the collective on a scale of 1 to 4 on key collective strengthening indicators. So, for example, one of the questions in the group assessment reads, which description best describes the group's rules and policies? There are 4 choices the CRP can choose from, with 1 being the lowest rating, that is, the group has no clear rules or policies, and 4 being the highest rating, that is, the group regularly reviews rules and policies and can point to changes made based on member input and group learning. At the end of the group assessment, an aggregate rating for the collective is calculated by the application and is available in the data exports on the server. In this way, the group's efficacy as a whole is monitored using the group assessment module in the application. The structure of PPT-2 is very similar to PPT-1. While PPT-1 focuses on pre-harvest practices, PPT-2 focuses on harvest and post-harvest practices, post-harvest management, as well as marketing. Important questions on record keeping and gender empowerment indicators are also asked to the collective. All data collected on the CRP's tablet is sent to Dimagi's cloud server, CommCare HQ, where it is stored. On HQ, the data can be accessed anytime and also exported to a CSV file or an Excel file. Disaggregated farmer-level data on adoption can be exported to Excel and used for analysis. Here is one example of an Excel export. Each row here represents a farmer's paddy record for 2014. Each column represents a specific practice. If the farmer was checked off the list in the application for adopting that practice, a yes appears in the relevant column in this Excel export. Similarly, collective level data is also available from CommCare HQ, where the Excel export shows the total farmers in a collective that adopted specific practices. In addition to the PPT, the activity tracking modules help the CRP track the attendance of farmers at the various trainings they provide through the course of the year. While the PPT tracks adoption, the activity tracking workflow helps track the input side, that is, which farmers attended trainings on sustainable agriculture, various market engagement practices, as well as key collective strengthening practices. Finally, the CommCare Pathways application also includes a knowledge base for the CRPs. This proves useful during refresher trainings and provides CRPs with a ready knowledge library on recommended farming practices. The CRPs in India will soon be initiating a new round of PPT data collection with the tablets. They will also start using the activity tracking modules and the knowledge base, both of which have been recently incorporated into the application. In Tanzania, the paraprofessionals have used the mobile application for PPT-1 this season. All in all, the CommCare Pathways application provides a lightweight, user-friendly case tracking tool to the extension workers, a set of rigorous worker performance monitoring tools for supervisors and district team leaders, and a robust platform for the Pathways program staff dedicated to monitoring and evaluation.